Welcome to Hey Therapist. I'm your host, Leslie Ross. With me is my producer, Jay Wesley Lindley. Let's get mental. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hey Therapist. Got Jay with me today.
Hello.
And you have a topic.
What's up?
Yeah,
What's up?
Well, today I promised you I was going to do a podcast with you last night, and I had been enjoying some libations, so
yeah,
it was fun. No, I'm here. I'm enjoying myself actually. What were we going to talk about again? You started to tease it for a second.
You said something popped up. I think it's probably something on the show.
Yep.
But we were talking about should you tell? So the Hey Sis conversations.
Yeah, that's how it popped up on my show. It was a piece of prep that come across that was like, should you send the Hey Sis in parentheses, Hey Sis message? So, and in that example gave, you're dating a guy. We'll use you as an example. Leslie's dating a guy. Maybe he sits his phone down or something, goes to the bathroom. However she finds out that, she looks up and the text pops up, hey, babe, when you coming home? Mm-hmm.
Right.
There's a country song that says that right now.
Yeah.
So that at that point, I think you would probably react differently than some and maybe even most women. You may immediately ask him questions, boom,
right.
boom, boom. But would you at any point, whether you confront him immediately, wait to find out details or whatever, would you at any point feel the need, or as a professional, do you find it healthy to send that Hey Sis message as a stranger?
So I think there's the first thing I want to say because when I think about this and when you hear about these things happening a lot of times is women get mad at the other woman or men get mad at the other man.
Right.
And like most of the time that person has told whoever they're dating or seeing, like if it was me, like in the example, if it's me and I'm with this guy, then we've had the conversation of, are you single?
Right.
Do other people think you're single?
Exactly.
Like,
right.
What is going on?
So
I'm into the assumption that this man is single and or available. Like I have dated a man who was still married. He had his own place. They had separated. They didn't really have contact. They didn't have kids, so they weren't doing any of that. It was just the divorce was taking forever because of some property things. And it happens. Yeah. But I knew that. I had been at his house. He's been at my, I
and
knew.
he was upfront about that.
Upfront about 100%. It. Yeah. Like that is not the truth. Like, oh, well, he's out here doing this while he's still, well, I mean, technically, yes. However, but if you've had the discussion and you know that they are, or you think that they are single, and then you find out, and then he will probably give, or she, because it's not gender specific, will give the sob story of, well, we're just not getting along right now, da-da-da-da. Right. We may be separated, whatever.
That's just a crazy ex. She texts me stupid stuff like that.
She does that all the time.
So that is where it's muddy to instantly confront him.
Yes.
But so my question is, let's say you say, you know what, he's not worth even trying to decide. I was on the fence about him anyway.
Right.
Okay. At that point, he's off the table.
Yeah.
But you're still in the back of the mind, you still have this young lady or other person that may have been being cheated on while you found out you were.
It's tricky. It's tricky. I would want to know. I think most people would. Well, no one wants to know that, but I think they would want to find out. I feel like that partner probably assumes they're cheating on them. They just may not have caught them yet, or the person is a really good liar. So I think I would want to know. If someone was out with my man and he had told them he was single, like, listen, if you're out there with somebody and you know they have a significant other and then you get mad because they're not leaving them or they're not doing anything or they're spending time with their significant other that they've told you that they have and they're happy with and maybe they're just out here playing, like, no, you don't get to send the messages. Right. Because that's on you. You made a choice to get involved and let your emotions get involved. Like, you need to leave it alone because you knew what you were getting. Like, yeah, they may be a shitty person for doing that,
But you're pretty shitty for jumping on the train too, right?
Exactly. You made a choice to, because I think it goes to the, if they'll do it to you, they'll do it to them. But like, I think it would depend on my motive. Like, what do I know? Once I started digging, because Lord knows we all gonna start digging, right? We gonna find that other Facebook page. Yes. We're gonna find out who they're with. We're gonna find out what kind of relationship they have. You may have friends in common that you could talk to and say, "Hey, listen," and you could even say, "I met this person. You know, I looked at their page though. It says they're with this person. Are they still together or whatever?" Like, you could probably do some sleuthing to find out. But there's a lot of people on dating apps and everything else that are out there portraying themselves like they're single.
Yeah.
And then you get invested, and then you find out they have a whole family, a whole whatever.
Yeah.
And then it depends on what your motive is. Like, are you really looking out for that other person? Like, is it really, listen, I genuinely, like, this man was like really good at this and made me feel like we were in a relationship and was doing all the things and saying all the things. Like, I just want to let you know, or is it because you're mad now? Is it because your feelings got hurt? Is it because of whatever? And so I think it depends on your motivation, why you're wanting to send that message. Because I'm trying to think if I don't think I've ever sent that message, but I have let people know, hey, listen, so-and-so's man's out there, like, in my DMs. Like, you can let them know if you want. I'll have that conversation with them. But I kind of put it to someone that knows their relationship.
Okay, so you didn't reach out to that person because you didn't really know them.
Right.
But you kind of told one of a friend that you shared, hey, this is happening. If you want to let them know, let them know.
Right. I'll be happy to talk to them. Like, if they want to see any messages, I will show them. But you know their relationship. You know what's going on. And it may be that they were already, like, and in that situation, it's like, oh, yeah, they're already, like, in a terrible relationship. They're both just kind of doing their own thing. They're still together. They are still together, though, and they're not planning to divorce. No one's talking divorce. No one's doing anything. But they're both just kind of doing what they want.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. I mean, that's... If they like it, I love it.
Yeah.
Like, you, more power to you, but don't bring me into that.
I know a couple of couples that have kids that are living separately now. They'll be married probably until the kids are graduated. They're doing their own things separately completely, but they probably will stay married in quotations till for years, you know, just because of the kids. So,
which is dumb. Don't do that, people.
Yeah.
Don't do that to your kids, because you're modeling relationships. Like, if your kid, if you are,
if they're happy when they're both living separate? When they were living together, they hate each other. They always scream and fight. Now they're living separate.
Well,
the kids go back and forth and they love it.
Well, if that's the case, then that's great.
Okay.
Like, I'm there.
One
for
of
that.
them, I do know that.
Yeah. So, I'm there. I'm saying, if you're in the same home, like, if you're still living together, married, and staying together for the kids, but you don't do anything together, you're never happy together. You're never, like, you are modeling that.
Yeah.
You're staying together for the kids is not ideal, because you're teaching your kids to be unhappy in their marriage and to stay and to stick it out. Like, what for what though? Like, if everyone in the house is miserable, what are you doing? So yeah, I don't know. I mean, would you send the message?
So if one of the if it was a stranger, no. Yeah. If there was a stranger, dude, if a girl started hitting on me, I'd tell the wife, obviously, first. No, but if I was single, let's say, and a girl started hitting on me, and I was like, yeah, that's whatever, and I started talking to her or whatever, and then I found out she had a significant other, I would just stop talking to her. I would just ghost her, 100%. I would if I found out that she was also seeing a friend of mine, I'd be like, bro, you seeing her too? You know, that type of thing, and hopefully they wouldn't get mad about it, because I obviously didn't.
Right.
You know, we both in the same situation here, bro. But no, I think there's a lot of guys don't live by the bro code, if you will, a lot of them. But I think there is a bro code that some of us live by. If the wife or ex-wife of my closest friends came in my DMs outside of laughing at something I posted about the station or something, you know, because I get a lot of DMs. It's crazy. As a dude, I get probably way more DMs from ladies that have nothing to do with anything that's, you know, but it's just, you know, interacting with the show. But yeah, I would absolutely shut that down and then be like, bruh, bruh, you know, your ex girl did, you know,
Right.
that type of thing. So, you know, I think it's back for me anyway. It has more to do with if I care about that person's, if I care about their feelings, if I care about, you know, their, and I care about everybody's. That I don't mean that's kind of comes off bad, but if they're in my inner circle,
yes,
I look out for them. So I'm gonna tell them the hard things too, you know. But if they're not in my inner circle, I probably will just leave the situation be because they'll find their own selves out.
Yeah.
And if he or she finds out that they hit on me back when, then we'll deal with that then. I'll be like, yeah, that happened. I slid it, acted like it didn't even happen, and went on about my life.
Right.
I could have told you, but I don't think y'all were in the place for me to tell you at that moment. You know.
Yeah. Obviously, y'all weren't in a good place.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just hard, and I do think it goes back to motivation and the connection you have. Like, of course, if
he's your sister, if it was me out there cheating, you'd be telling me instantly.
1,000%.
Or if I was hitting on you, you know what I mean?
1,000%.
Yeah, 100%.
I would be like, "What are you doing?
Exactly. Yeah, you'd be like,
what is wrong with you? What is
yeah.
happening?
What are you taking?
Right, Jay? Are you okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there's something gone wrong. Jay's having a stroke.
This is destructive behavior. This seems purposefully destructive.
This seems purposefully destructive. Yes, I really do think it depends on the connection, and I think it would depend on how far this other person, like if they started trying to get serious with you. And I mean, you see on those shows all the time, like, I mean, I know Cheaters used to be a big show, and now there's something Caught in the Act or something on MTV. I don't know. But, and usually the other person has no idea, but they know that their relationship isn't great. Rarely is this happening where the relationship is wonderful and this dude or woman is just out there trying to get some on the side.
Yeah. And the other has no clue.
Right. And they have no clue that they're out there doing
rare.
it. That's more of a personality issue. Like, that's a personality disorder. That's something that person needs to deal with if that's how they're operating.
People do get away with that, though, because if you think about it, like, let's use a guy or a gal that has a high position in a very big business, okay? And they have to travel very, very, like, 6 to 8 months out of the year, they're probably traveling, with very few weekends stopping back at home or weeks at a time, So, that could be easy. That you could set up an entire other life in another country or other state if you have to go there multiple times a year. Because the person you set that up with over there, let's say you got to go to Vegas twice a year for a conference or whatever. You could literally have a life in Vegas and you could tell that person, well, in this, I have to work here for 6 months out of the year, so I won't be here, but I'll be here then. And so it's like a routine that two people are outside, they're getting used to. It's great. I don't know. It's weird. To break it down and think about how people do that, that seems like a lot of work.
It seems like so much work.
And as I don't know, I think I feel guilty a lot, as much guilt as I carry around if I do something inherently wrong to someone on purpose. I don't do something wrong to people at all on purpose.
Right.
If something happens to it, I accidentally elbowed the homie during jujitsu or something, I really do not physically or mentally or verbally do wrong to people on purpose. So that would be crazy.
Yeah, it would, like you said, it would be easy. Guilt. And if they're good enough at it, then neither of those people could know about the other one. And
if they had enough financial means, they could have 6 or 8 of those across the nation.
Just whole different families.
Once a month. You have 12 of them. I'm going to live here a month, here a month, here a month. It's crazy.
Like, but I have to travel, I have to be gone. And and there are a lot of jobs where people go and they're out of communication, like people that work on oil rigs or that travel to other countries for those contract jobs and stuff like that. You're not always going to have constant communication. 100%. So the person that is your base, will say, is just like, well, I mean, this is just how it is. This is their job. And then the other person, wherever they're going, hell, they may even have that job. They may just be doing something else somewhere else. And it is amazing some of the lengths that people go to just not end a relationship or to try to stay into. Like, relationships are hard enough. Shit, I can't even imagine juggling multiple ones.
Right?
Like, that seems like so much work.
Yeah. I mean, my wife's not, quote unquote, high maintenance. She's like middle high maintenance. but But I mean, I couldn't imagine trying to juggle.
No.
And you think about it, if you have, let's call them sugar babies or sugar, whatever, if you have something that's on the side just for that it's going to be high maintenance.
Oh, for sure.
That's just how it is. They're going to need some Gucci and some Louis and, so now you're spending, I don't know. It's just.
And how do you justify the money? Like, that's the other thing. Like, if you are out there dating while you're in a relationship, and let's say I'm going to go with married because you probably have, shared accounts or people know where the monies are going.
Exactly.
Like, how are you getting away with having this whole other monies that nobody knows about? And I think it goes back to the soundness of your main relationship or whatever's going on in there, that they wouldn't know. Like, how do you not know that they're spending this money? How do you not see a receipt or a credit card statement or a bank statement or something? Like, it just,
people are crafty to hide
they
stuff.
are.
But you're right. That may be a level of not wanting to see, not wanting to know.
That's true.
I know he does some things, but I'm sure it's okay. It's just boys being boys.
Because I get to live the life I want to live.
Exactly.
And he gets to go do whatever. It's a trade-off. It's a sacrifice.
Some people do.
I don't know. I think some people would get so guilty, because I do have friends who I know have reached out to strangers after they went on a date with somebody. Then they found out that they were married, or they found out they had a girlfriend, like a significant person. Like, they're not just dating around. It's not like we're on dating apps and we are just dating multiple people. And you're like, well, I went on a date with him. Well, cool.
Well, I went on one with him yesterday.
Like, I met him for lunch. You met him for dinner. Like, we're on dating apps. But like, they found out they had a significant relationship and that he was on these dating apps and she'd met up with him. And she sent this random girl a message. And I'm like, ugh. But it did not go, obviously didn't go the way they wanted, because the girl's like, who is this? What are you talking about? Sometimes they listen and sometimes they're just going to be like that. My man would never. Like, okay,
right.
Well, then, okay. And so it just, I think it depends on I don't want to say your morality, because it's not immoral. You didn't do anything wrong. But for some people, I think the guilt of, and history maybe too. Like,
they've been done that way, maybe.
Yeah. If I've had this happen to me and my partner did this and nobody told me, like, it was really terrible. So I am going to be that person that now tells, and it may backlash on me. It may come back at me, but I want that person to know that this is happening. Yeah. I want it off my chest.
Exactly. I get to close it out of my life. Whether they get mad or whatever, that's them. Yeah, I like that.
And you're not coming at it in a vindictive way. Like, ooh, I got your man.
Yeah.
Like, I got your girl. I hit that shit last.
Whose man is this, sis?
Right. Like, there's a reason there's those Facebook pages, which is sad. But I'm sure there's one for women somewhere out there too. But probably not as many, because men don't care as much, right? Yeah. Like, I mean, realistically, if your men just aren't as concerned when it comes to that, I don't think.
You talking about cheat or having? Yeah, I think they are, but it's more of an ego thing.
Yeah, well, it's true. Okay, yeah.
There's a different reason why they're concerned, and when you can drop that ego thing, you can drop the rest of. You can make it seem like it doesn't matter if you can drop the ego thing, and a lot of men cannot. Right. That is, ego is the number one killer for a lot of men.
Yes, pride will get you.
Oh, and whether you're a believer or not, that Bible says that pride comes before the fall. The buildup of pride guarantees you are going to fall off some point.
Absolutely.
In that pride, and for whatever you're prideful in. So.
Yeah, and I think you're right there too. It's about the they would never do it to me. Like, and I think it's important to note that most of the time when people cheat or they're out there doing things, it is not that person's fault. It is, the person who is out there cheating and doing other things. Like, they may be missing something in their relationship, but they also could have that communication. So I don't feel, unless you were just a terrible partner, which y'all shouldn't be together anyway, they may have something going on where they feel like they can't talk to their partner about it, or they want to do this, or something's missing, but they are having issues, and then they go and do these terrible things. And it may be to sabotage the relationship. They may be saying, I'm going to go out here and do all this stuff until I get caught, and then I know they'll break up with me.
And then I won't have to do it.
I won't. I'll still be the bad guy, but I don't have to do it.
Exactly.
I'll hurt them, but not hurt. Like,
I know plenty of dudes like that.
Oh, I do
too. That would rather be the
bad
bad guy.
Plenty of dudes like that.
Gotcha.
And
just have a meaningful conversation to end the relationship.
Yeah. Or say, listen, this is missing.
Right.
Finances friendship, and fucking. Those are the 3 things that bring a relationship together.
The 3 F's. I love it.
And if any of those are going awry, then you have to have those conversations, or you do end up missing that attention. And it may be someone started a job, and you hear this all the time. Well, they started a new job and I don't have their attention all the time, and so I needed attention. Okay, well, that's a you thing.
Go to their work for lunch and have, bring them lunch and
bring them, have you talked to them and said, listen, I need you at least 1 day a week to come home early. We need a date night. We need all of this. Did you have a conversation about what this new job would look like in your relationship? Like there's so many things that just having the hard conversations can fix, that you don't have to step out or be this person who's out there, hurting someone's heart because you can't have a solid conversation. And I think that's it's one of the most important things is, why are they out there doing that too? And that's something that person eventually is going to have to reflect on, is, why am I doing this? Why am I out here? Why can't I keep somebody? Why do I want to go out here and cheat? Why am I out here cheating on my partner who I love? Because they may very well love their partner.
Right.
They may have a happy-ish relationship, but these things that are missing, instead of figuring out how to bring it into their relationship, they're just out there for the thrill of the hunt, or figuring, getting that excitement there. Maybe the sex life has gone down because of age or stress or whatever it is. But instead of saying, listen, we need to get it in more. I know you're stressed, but how do we have a day where we can have more us time? Because I need that, because this is, what I need. How do we make this work? And I really think all of it could be fixed with decent communication. Because again, if you go back to those shows, when they finally catch up with the people and they're like, well, because they started doing this and they were ignoring me and they were doing this and they were doing, and it's like, well, did you talk to them about it? Well, no. Well, okay.
And the wrong time to talk to them about it is when it's in the heat of the moment, and you're like trying to get it in and they're not interested. And you're like, well, let's talk about it.
Right.
It's not going to
Why
work.
would you do it?
Exactly.
Why you keep rejecting me? And they're like, what? It's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right. Or it's 6 p.m. and I just got off of a 12-hour shift and I worked my ass off and I'm not feeling it yet. You know, give me a couple-hour breathing room, bruh.
I came home from the mill and I was in the shower and you tried to come in there and have sex with me. What did you think was going to happen?
Like, still washing chicken guts off of
it. You're setting yourself up for failure and disappointment. You have to, and it goes to knowing your partner. If you don't know that about your partner, then again, that's another big issue in your relationship. Why are you in this relationship if you don't have that connection and that ability to have those hard conversations? Because emotional conversations suck. Nobody wants to have them.
Yeah. I was one of the worst at that. My day isn't as stressful in the afternoon.
Sure.
Okay. The morning show, that's stressful. I would call that stressful because I'm entertaining. Yeah. It's high energy, blah, blah, blah. But the afternoon is kind of my wind down area. It can be stressful, but for the most part, it's not. So when I get home, I am cool. I've had some stress-free hours, whatever. When Laura gets home, she's usually worked right up to the end of it, and boom, then she gets home. So I only probably very recently realized, and it was due to a meme that I saw where it was like, it was a joke, obviously, that talks about how he's trying to, rub up on her. And she was overstimulated. That was the word. She was overstimulated and he was trying to rub up on her and she wasn't having it. Mm-hmm. And it was a funny meme. I laughed at it, but I was like, that makes sense to me, because we're in two different, I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. She gets up 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. So it's just entirely different parts of the day. So, I mean, it was a transition. It was a trying to figure out how to manage that for us. Well, I think we figured it out well enough for me anyway, Yeah. So, and I'm the one that was always, trying to get it in.
Right. I mean, and I think that's so true, and it's one of those things that people get frustrated with, and you hear about it all the time. But when I had because I used to do a lot of couples counseling, and it usually came down to sex. I mean, or even just going out, like attention.
Yeah.
And, the complaint usually is, I'm in the middle of doing something. Like, I come home and they maybe have already been home or whatever, and the dishes aren't put up and all these other things, or cooking supper or whatever it is. And I'm in there in the middle of doing something, and then they come in there and start trying to get it in. Mm-hmm. and I am having no part of it because I'm frustrated because I'm having to do all these things. Or maybe this is my role, but I want to get all of this taken care of.
Right.
And, I know they're being playful and they just want it, but it's all the time. And that may be the only attention I get. So when it's downtime, when we're in bed, whatever, there's no touching because now they're mad because I rejected them in the kitchen while I was trying to get everything done. So now they're feeling all rejected, and I may try and they push me off, and it just becomes this cycle. But it is that, what are my expectations? Like, if your partner is in the middle of doing something, if you were in here working, which you may not stop, but if you were like on a deadline trying to get some things done, you were cutting spots, you were doing all the things, and Laura came in here and was like, hey man, let's get it. You may just be like, I gotta get this done. Right. And then someone's gonna feel rejected instead of going, oh well, I did interrupt them in the middle of something that they were doing that is important. Nah, I'll try later.
And with my job, give me 20, 30 minutes, babe.
Right. Right. It's only 30-second spots. Like, exactly. I can throw them in real quick.
Yeah.
Like, I'll speed it up.
Right.
Like, right. I'll talk real fast and slow it down later.
Actually, I've been editing for a long time, so maybe
that's true. You are really fast at it. I can get that done real quick.
That's right.
But I think it is just understanding, what is happening with your partner and what their mindset is, and the whys. And it really is trying to understand the whys of it all. Because I think if, let's say you get a message from someone that says, hey, your dude, your chick, I was out with them. They told me they were single. And then I saw your message pop up. I didn't know. I don't want you coming at me. Like, but I wanted to let you know. And you may not get a response to that, or you may get something hateful, but that may open the door for a conversation. Like, it may not be the end of that relationship. And so then you may have this idea that, well, they're in this relationship, he's cheating on her all the time. I mean, that could have been the first time that they stepped out. It could have been the first time they got on the dating app. It could have been, and maybe they do it all the time, but it opened the conversation of what is happening. What are you doing here? What do we need? What do we need to do? Is it salvageable? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It's just knowing yourself and what your needs are and what you will agree to. Because like you said, we know people who are cool.
Yep. With
their partners, just out there living their best lives, doing whatever they want to do, and they have a semi-good relationship.
Yeah.
But they let their partners do what they do, and they just don't talk about it, and they don't want to know, and they don't want to find out, and you keep it, whatever you're doing out there, you keep it private. Like, if it comes back, then we're going to have a problem.
Nothing local.
Right. Nothing local. If it comes back, we're going to have a problem.
Right.
Like, I don't want it to be something that people know about,
exactly.
But I'm cool with it. You're cool with it. Fine. And if that's the case, it's going to end badly, but you like it, I love it. I can tell you it ain't going to work out in the long run. But, hey, listen. Do whatever you need to do.
It may work for the time being, and that may be all you need.
It may be. And they may get over the hump and stop doing it and be like, this isn't fun anymore. I miss you.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. They may date a couple other folks and be like, hold on, this guy or gal wasn't as bad as I thought. Or his or her issues are the ones I can deal with now.
It's the devil you know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, yeah. Or they may decide, hey, we can live apart happy, but let's just go ahead and completely be apart, separate.
Because not every relationship needs to end badly.
Right.
Like, you can be friends with people and just be like, I love you, but we can't be together. Like, it just doesn't work. Like, there's just a piece missing. And I think that's just one of those things that you have to figure out.
I've only had one relationship end badly, to the sense that I don't have the ability to communicate with them anymore.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
That's nice.
That's my ex-wife. One relationship.
It must be nice.
Well, I mean,
I'm just kidding.
It took a lot on my side to make that that too. So
it did.
For me to right wrongs, things said, stuff like that.
Sure.
Didn't take too long, especially thanks to social media. MySpace and Facebook, it's easy to reach out and say, hey, sorry I was a douchebag.
Right.
Yeah.
And
they're like, don't worry about it. I forgot about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, cool, sweet.
Like, my bad. We were kids. Whatever happened.
Exactly.
Like,
we were in high school.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. It is one of those things that I don't think. I mean, I really haven't had a lot end badly, into the sense that it was just terrible. But there's still, I've had them end where I don't really care to be their friend either.
Well, yeah.
You know,
yeah,
like we've been friends, we can reach out. Like I have a lot of exes that I still talk to that were friendly. We talk about their relationships. We talk about my relationships. Like because we realized we were not the ones for each other, but we're cool. And we, there was something there because we had it great, but it just wasn't, there was no butthole tickle. Like it just didn't work out. Like, and so we're still friends and we talk about relationships. They ever had a partner that had an issue with that, I would completely be like, okay, cool.
Right.
Like
because there are partners that would have issues with their guy having a friend
absolutely.
That is a lady that was an ex.
That was an ex.
Yeah. That you talk relationship stuff about. Yeah.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah. So if you, if you need to step out and be like, that's cool. I will always understand that because there are people that I've dated who have had friends that there were exes. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't like that. Like, I don't want you talking to them because maybe the way the relationship went or, they're still super close in a close way that makes me uncomfortable. And it's probably a me thing. Yeah. Like, because again, I have friends that are exes that I would never go back to. Like there's a full stop, but it's still a me thing. I'm like, I don't like that. And I hope that they can respect that and not be friends with that ex. And I think it shows when you have that conversation with someone too, like, hey, listen, I'm dating this new person and they don't like this. So I'm going to have to just, I know we're good friends and I appreciate your friendships, but we can't talk as much. I can't, whatever.
We're definitely not going to talk about my new relationship.
Absolutely. Yeah, here's the boundaries. Yeah. And you're going to know real quick if they are a friend in how they react.
Good point. No, yeah, that's cool. No problem. We'll talk about Rangers baseball.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or,
yeah, hope you're happy.
Fine, whatever.
Exactly.
Oh, if that's how it's going to be, I guess we wasn't really friends anyway.
Mm-hmm. And then you know their intent.
Yeah.
I think when I've talked about it before, but when you start putting boundaries on people, that's when you know their intent on what their expectations are from you. So
which F?
Which F? Yes.
Is their expectation from you?
Which one they're wanting out of you? If it's just friendship, that's fine. Yeah. But
that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good F.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That's the only one that people could want out of you, and it'd just be good.
Absolutely.
The rest of it is kind of selfish.
It is a little bit.
I mean, you could want it.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong.
In a relationship, you should have those things.
Absolutely. They should definitely give you the the fooking. And then they definitely should, be happy spending money on you.
That's right.
Yeah.
And y'all, blend and make sure everyone's on the same page and on what you spend on and how you, are responsible. Like, your stuff that you're going to piss money away on is probably not the stuff that I'm going to piss money away on.
Yeah.
But if we can afford it, right? Shoes 100%. And fishing gear, whatever it is.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Whatever it is. Like, but as long as we have the money to do that and everyone knows that and we're all good, then that's fine too. So it's
radio equipment and legal binding paper. No, I'm kidding. all work related. No.
All work related. All write-offs.
Yeah. I mean, that's the best part about having a business is I can continue to collect the things I love and write it off as business expense.
That's it. Just put a logo on it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll probably have like a drawer full of microphones or something. I've always been a weirdo about microphones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never throw them away?
No, I can't. I think I have thrown some junk ones away because I've bought lots.
Sure.
Of eBay microphones for like $10, and then I bought one of them that had like 12 microphones in them. Only like 3 of them work. Now like 6 of them work.
Nice.
Because I just use the parts from other ones. So I don't know. I like microphones. Always have.
I mean, they're pretty cool.
Yeah. The old ones are cool too.
Yeah.
Sorry, got off subject.
I think we're good.
Yeah. No, that was a good one. I enjoyed it. Thank you for having me on today. I haven't been on in a while.
I know. It's been your choice. It's been a while. It has been your choice. You always hear. You always hear. You just never sit down.
That's true. I'll try to make it at least a monthly appearance.
Deal.
Like keep people any care about it anyway. But
yeah, I don't think. Yeah,
I enjoy chatting with you.
Me too.
Yeah. So there you go. So have we determined the ultimate statement here? Send the message if it's a real good friend and you care about the person. Leave the drama to somebody else's mama if you don't know them.
Yeah, I think it is. If your intent is to cause chaos, if this person has hurt your feelings and you're pissed at them and your intent is to cause chaos in their life, like think about what you're doing to the other person.
Right.
Because you're not just punishing that person. that went out with you or made a relationship with you. Like now there could be a whole family involved. There could be children. This other person, you don't know their life. You don't know their mental health status. You don't know anything about them.
Yeah,
and you're going to throw this at them. Like just be really mindful about your intent. If your intent is because they hurt you and you're not going to ruin their life, don't do it. Don't do it. But if it is out of care because you know something about their life that is important that their partner knows, if if it's something you care about, if you have emotions about it, if you feel genuinely like this person really needs to know because it is important for them to know.
Because they gave you an STD.
Yeah. Maybe you have one and you have to share that. Oh, yeah. And they probably didn't share it with their partner. And probably so not, you need, like, that may be one of those things that if it's important to you, because I have dated someone who has something and like it was shared right up front. Listen, this is something, it's managed. I take medications. It's no big deal. Right. Like, okay, I'm on board, whatever. I'll roll the dice, But if I had a partner and they had told me that, and then I have a whole other person that then I'm having sex with, right? Like that's just terrible. And if they haven't told them, like I think if there's a really genuine reason that you feel like this person needs to know, then sure, reach out, send the message, have no expectations. Do not expect to be this person's friend. Do not expect them to message you back. Do not expect them to even read it. They may not even read it. If you feel genuinely, I need to get this information out there because it is actually important. Right. Or it's your bro, it's your girlfriend, like you are operating out of girl code and you're like, hey friend, listen, I was chatting with somebody and it went a little too far. And I know that you had talked to them or you had dated them and like, you cool with this or no, or whatever, this happened. Together, yeah, whatever. Like if it's girl code, bro code, then for sure, I think you should always do that because it's a terrible situation when you find something out that's happened. Trust me, I know. Otherwise, I think you just, like you said, leave the drama to the mama. Like stay out of it because, I mean, as we talked about, they probably know or they're going to find out eventually. Everyone finds out.
Turning a blind eye. Something.
Yeah, something's happening. So yeah, I think that's it. Thank y'all.
Thank you. It was fun.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
For my producer, Jay Lindley, I'm Leslie Ross. Thank you all for joining us. Please send any questions or comments through the website, heytherapist.com, or email help@heytherapist.com. They may be featured on the show anonymously. Hey Therapist is an SEOK radio production and is for your entertainment purposes only. Thank you for joining us. Make good choices.